streets of Ferguson, Missouri. Much quieter last night, thankfully, after 2 nights of violence. Dozens of arrests following the announcement that a grand jury would not indict Officer Darren Wilson in the shooting death of Michael Brown. A lot of people have been blaming the chaos that ensued on Missouri Governor Jay Nixon, including our own Mike Huckabee. Listen.
The governor should have been calling the mayor, for heaven's sakes. The mayor shouldn't have had to call the governor. The governor should have, if not physically been there, been right on the phone. And I can go through so many different instances during my tenure, whether it was a tornado, whether it was some type of flood, or whether it was a school shooting, where the communication lines were absolutely open 24/7.
Now, joining us to talk about the state response is Missouri Lieutenant Governor Lt Kinder. Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome. We appreciate you joining us today by phone. We'll get to the governor's response, your criticism of him in a moment, but we have some breaking information overnight, which is that things have been a lot quieter. There were only, I believe, 2 arrests. What are you seeing on the ground today, Lieutenant Governor?
Pretty much precisely as you indicated, Ed, and happy Thanksgiving to you too. This is one time when we're grateful for a little cold weather moving in. There's been light snow past day in St. Louis, and a pretty stiff wind, and that apparently has helped some folks decide to stay inside. Meanwhile, only 2 arrests last night, and the people of Missouri are still scratching our heads about our governor's non-action on Monday night. Where was the guard and where was the governor?
Now, you have been sharply critical of him, as you're noting now. Has he responded to you in the last 24 to 48 hours?
No. The pattern of the last 6 years, Ed, of no communication has held. This governor has a very tight circle of the lawyers who surrounded him during his 16 years as Attorney General. He pretty much talks to them, and very few others who he doesn't have to. And forget me, I'm not the issue here. The issue is the desperate pleas by the mayor of Ferguson, Mayor James Knowles, at the critical moments late Monday evening. He could not get the governor. I spoke to him yesterday. He's still trying to deal with the situation with no communication. And I can't understand the governor's failure to communicate with the mayor of the city affected.
Now, Lieutenant Governor, you're a Republican. Governor Nixon's a Democrat. He has, we want to be fair, and he has said that this is all politics. I know you've rejected that. What could he have done? What is the explanation he has given for why the National Guard was not out in full force that first night? Why did it take 24 more hours?
I don't think it is not to me he owes an explanation that he has not given. It is to the people of Missouri, and we have not had one. There was a press conference at mid-afternoon, day before yesterday, at which he dodged and did his usual dodge. The news media in this state is starting to get on to that, and they're not going to accept empty cliches and flimsy pieties. And that denial that you just referred to was really sort of a non-denial denial. I never alleged anything was a political motivation. And then he denied that it was political. So he was denying what was never alleged. It's simply, the facts are there for everyone to see. Involves no political charge. The governor did not communicate with the mayor when the mayor was desperately trying to get his attention. And not only did the governor not, but he could not get any member of the governor's staff to respond either.
Let's get down to whether or not there will be any accountability on what you're talking about. Specifically, everyone would understand, obviously, that the governor's first priority right now is to get this situation under control. It appears to be getting better, as you've noted. But in the days ahead, do you expect some sort of hearings on the state level to get to the bottom of what went wrong so this doesn't happen again?
Absolutely, Ed. Hearings are coming early in the new year. The legislature convenes the first week of January, and a panel will be convened to look into this. That panel will have subpoena power to compel the testimony, if it's not voluntary, from all members of the governor's administration.
Now, what is your message? We've been talking a lot about the governor. I want to end on 2 maybe more hopeful notes beyond all of that. What is your message to Michael Brown's family on this Thanksgiving?
A message of great sadness at their terrible loss. It's always a tragedy when anyone dies in the circumstances we witnessed here in August, and We pray for that family. We pray for peace and healing and reconciliation. Our loving arms are around the Brown family, and we wish them all the best as they go forward and deal with this terrible loss that we all mourn. I was the only statewide elected official at the funeral, Ed, and I mourned with everyone else there.
Last question, when you mention peace in the days ahead, I asked our correspondent on the ground, Mike Tobin, this question. I wonder if you have any sense. You talk about this lull overnight. This could go two ways, obviously. This could be a calm before the storm, and this weekend we could see a lot more trouble, or things could be getting better. What's your sense? 30 seconds.
I hope and pray, and now I can say that I believe that we have seen the worst. We've turned the corner, that brighter days lie ahead, that we can have some peace and reconciliation, surely in the Thanksgiving and in the coming holiday season for all concerned.
A hopeful note on Thanksgiving. Lieutenant Governor Peter Kinder, we appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.